Gent-Wevelgem, or technically Wevelgem, starting as it does just outside the city in West Flanders, has quickly become a fan favourite. After 3 thrilling editions, fans have come to expect ruthless solo attacks, biting crosswinds and aggressive racing on the steep and cobbled Kemmelberg climb. With a parkour like that, it is only the strong that win. Last year, it was CHANTAL BLAAK.
I feel pretty good at the moment. Today, we have a pretty strong team at the start, and everyone is healthy and no injuries, so it's good.
They're certainly not untouchable anymore though, and Team Sunweb were looking to back up last week's win at Cervelo-Bigla.
I mean, I do have a good sprint on me, and there are some climbs to help weed out some pure, more flat sprinters. But yeah, we have a fair amount of cards to play on the course, and yeah, we'll see how it unfolds.
And no doubt one of their other cards is Ellen van Dijk.
Well, I expect some attacks from us. No, I don't know. It's going to be a hard race, I think, and the wind is not so hard today. So that's, yeah, I would love to see a little bit more wind, but then we need to make it hard. So yeah, we're ready for it.
148 riders started out on the 146-kilometre course, some 31 kilometres longer than last year. This extra distance all came at the beginning, however, making the opening fast, flat section almost double the length of before. Despite the tough endurance test, the peloton stayed as one through the 4 laps of the local circuit and into the historic centre of Ypres. Together they passed through the archway of the Menin Gate Memorial to the Missing, a landmark dedicated to the soldiers who lost their lives in World War I on the very same fields that the riders now race. At the gantry for the junior men's race, the Women's World Tour finish was still 90 kilometres away, with all 5 of the significant climbs yet to come. Unable to shake any riders off, the peloton reached their first test, the Kemmelberg, more or less as a whole. But Ellen van Dijk made sure it did not stay like that for very long, pushing the pace as hard as she pushed the pedals over the cobbles. The rest followed in her wake over the ever-steepening gradient that notched up to 8% and then again into double figures. Over the top and the damage done by the Kemmelberg was clear. Christine Majerus, always a familiar sight at the front of the pack, led the riders down the narrow and winding descent of the wooden western slopes. The number of riders still in contention already halved. And it was straight on to the Monteberg. Paved it may be, but it offered no respite, with an average gradient of 7.3%. Cervelo-Bigla took up the reins. Ashley Moolman-Passio, only 5 months on from fracturing her hip, at the front. On the flat again, and Team Sunweb racked up the pace. They surely punished any rider looking to recover before a second ascent of the Kemmelberg, distancing a second group, but still retaining a dangerous set of pre-race favourites and sprinters, the latter of which were beginning more and more to sense an opportunity at this race, unless a breakaway could get away. Katrien Garfoot, who proved at Binder that she's ever keen to instrument an escape, tried, but was reeled in by the foot of the Kemmelberg. On to the second ascent, and with the likes of Women's World Tour leader Elisa Longo-Borghini holding the front, gaps began to appear and riders began to lose touch. By the descent, and with 1 climb left, the peloton had fractured in 2. World champion and Ronde van Drenthe victor Amelie Diedrichsen being a notable casualty. 1 climb to go. Annemiek van Vleuten looked to keep the chance of a sprint finish away with a blistering surge on the Monteberg, but couldn't keep the rest at bay, especially teams projecting informed sprinters of the likes of LOTTA LEPISTO. A flurry more attacks followed, but none successful. A few hundred metres then for fate to be decided. Van Dijk led off a Team Sunweb sprint train. BLAAK opened up her sprint early. LEPISTO in her wheel. JOLIEN used RIVERA's wheel as her springboard. BLAAK lost steam. LEPISTO surged, Door surged, and a photo finish. 146 kilometres gone, LEPISTO took it by mere millimetres from Door, while RIVERA added a podium to last week's triumph in third.
We had 5 girls in the last group, and my teammates were amazing today. So they covered every attack, and they helped me until the end, and I could sprint with pretty fresh legs, tired but fresh legs. So yeah, I sprinted all out in the last 150 meters, and it was a close win, but win is a win.
The shape is already good from the beginning of the season, but still I'm not winning that much compared to 2 years ago, but just means that the level in women's cycling is still going up, and you can see that like a lot of strong girls are spread out over different teams, and it makes it very exciting racing.
Super amazing lead out. Florcha died like 1,000 deaths and kept coming to the front. And Ellen had a great pull, and yeah, Lucinda had a last good finishing kick. Maybe a little bit too early for me, but yeah, good podium, good, not a bad finish, and still carrying that momentum from last week.
While not gaining any points in the UCI Women's World Tour rankings, Elisa Longo-Borghini retains the leader's jersey, while LEPISTO's teammate Cecilie Uttrup-Ludwig remains atop the youth standings. Confirmation then of the top 10. LEPISTO's win for Cervelo-Bigla makes it 4 wins for 4 different teams so far in the UCI Women's World Tour season. In the Women's World Tour standings, Longo-Borghini's lead narrows as Elena Cecchini continued her run of top 10s. And in the youth standings, Drops rider Alice Barnes moves up to second.